Hello and welcome to The Fine Print. Today I will be sharing my intentions for the new year. I'm going to be unpacking my approach to New Year's resolutions and sharing the goals and the habits that I incorporate instead. We are officially 1 month into 2024 and I've had some time now to evaluate what works for me and keeps me accountable yet flexible with my goals. Let me reiterate that. Accountable yet flexible. With the new year comes a lot of different emotions. There's excitement and passion and motivation, but there's also lots of feelings of pressure and anxiety and hopelessness. I myself struggle with the never-ending discourse around the need for a reset around the new year, and that this is the only time to make these monumental changes that basically decide how the rest of your year will play out. However, I can vouch that for myself at least, this doesn't work. For so long, I have been consumed by the idea of self-improvement, so much so that I've actually forgot to live my life. Which is why when it comes to creating New Year's resolutions and goals, I have created 4 guiding practices that I try and incorporate each day. They're focused enough to keep me accountable with my goals, but flexible enough that they are sustainable. Something that I try and keep in mind is that routines and habits should be built around you, not the other way around. The first practice is doing something mindful, and I usually start my day with this practice. Choosing something that grounds me for the day and allows me to turn inwards and tune in with my senses and how I'm feeling. This can look like a meditation. I personally love doing guided meditations using the Insight Timer app. This can also look like doing some stretching or even some writing. It's about choosing something that keeps you accountable with being mindful, but also flexible enough to align with your goals for the day. The second practice is doing something insightful. Coming out of a state of mindfulness, I find I'm more receptive to new information and more available to absorb it. I try to learn something new, listen to diverse perspectives, and broaden my understanding of the world. If I have time to sit down, I will read a book or scroll through the news, but most of the time I'm starting to get ready for the day. So I throw on a podcast. It's usually Jay Shetty's podcast. He always has such great guests, and I highly recommend checking that out. The third practice is doing something that provides movement. And this is something that looks different every single day based on what I'm doing, if I'm working, where I am. I strive to get my body moving each and every day, really rooted in the idea that movement is dynamic, so it should be treated as so. Some days I will only have the time to get out for a walk with the dogs at lunch, but other days I have time to do Pilates or go to the gym. It doesn't matter what you do as long as you do it. The fourth and final practice is doing something that gives you pleasure. At first glance, I know where your minds went, and no, not necessarily that, but choosing something that gives you a feeling of satisfaction and enjoyment. Something intended for entertainment rather than productivity. I always try and end my day this way. Whether it's cooking a new recipe at home, doing something cultural within my community, or even just trying a new activity. Pleasure and enjoyment is just as important as any of these other practices. There we have it, my 4 guiding principles for the new year. Mindful, insightful, movement, and pleasure. They can keep you aligned with your goals and your intentions for the new year, but don't make you feel punished or pressured by them. With that, I wish you a happy new year, and I look forward to spending 2024 with you all. Thank you for watching, and I will see you all soon.